Have you ever seen someone's arrogance and prejudice backfire in the most satisfying way? Well, get ready, because this is one of those stories where justice is served with a side of poetic irony. It was a crisp morning at the exclusive Falcon Heights Private Airfield, a place reserved for the wealthiest travelers who preferred to fly in luxury. The airfield was known for its top-tier service and seamless accommodations, at least for the right kind of clientele. Nestled among the sleekest, most expensive jets, a gleaming black and silver Gulfstream G700 stood out. Years earlier, Monica had been a young entrepreneur, struggling to get investors to take her seriously. She had sat through countless meetings where potential backers underestimated her, assuming she lacked the knowledge and experience to build something substantial. But Monica was relentless. She networked, learned from the best, and poured her heart and soul into her business. Through strategic partnerships and smart investments, she turned a small consulting firm into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Monica, her mentor, a retired Wall Street executive, once told her, "People will doubt you not because you lack ability, but because you don't fit their idea of what success looks like. Your job isn't to argue, it's to prove them wrong." And prove them wrong she did. Standing near the entrance of the terminal, Monica was dressed in a tailored navy blue pantsuit, her designer heels clicking softly against the polished floors. Her presence exuded grace and power, yet she carried herself with an effortless ease. She approached the front desk where Amanda, a young blonde receptionist, barely glanced up before forcing a stiff smile. "Good morning, ma'am. Are you lost? This area is for private flyers only." Monica raised a brow, unbothered. "I know. I have a flight scheduled." Amanda's smile faltered. She quickly scanned Monica's attire, her eyes lingering just a second too long, as if something didn't quite add up. "I see. And whose jet are you looking for?" Monica let out a patient sigh. "Mine." Amanda blinked. "Excuse me?" "My jet, the Gulfstream G700 on runway 4. For a moment, Amanda just stared, her polite mask cracking to reveal genuine disbelief. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. Are you sure you're in the right place? This terminal is for private jet owners and VIP clients." Monica's lips curled into a knowing smile. "I'm very aware of where I am." Amanda's demeanor shifted. She straightened, regaining her composure. "I see. Well, unfortunately, we can't allow just anyone onto the tarmac. You need proper authorization." Monica chuckled softly. "You mean like the one in my bag?" She reached into her designer handbag and pulled out her identification and ownership documents, sliding them across the desk. Amanda hesitated before picking them up, her fingers tightening slightly around the edges. As she read, her eyes flickered with something close to irritation. "Oh, you're, Ms. Davenport." "That's right." Amanda forced another smile, but this time it was strained. "My apologies, I just had to confirm." "Of course," Monica said smoothly. "I'm sure you do that with all the jet owners here." As Monica turned, she caught the hushed murmurs of a few nearby passengers, their eyes following her with skepticism. One man in an expensive gray suit leaned toward another and whispered, "There's no way she owns that jet." Monica stopped mid-step and turned to face them. "Something you'd like to say?" Her voice was calm, but there was an unmistakable edge to it. The man stammered, caught off guard. No, just surprised, that's all." Monica arched an eyebrow. "Surprised that a black woman could own a luxury jet?" He shifted uncomfortably. "That's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean?" she pressed, tilting her head slightly. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Monica let the silence stretch before giving him a pointed smile. "Think before you assume next time." Satisfied, she continued toward her jet. As Monica was about to board, she turned back to Amanda, who was still standing behind the counter, stiff with embarrassment. "You know," Monica said, her voice smooth, "bias isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the small things. How you look at someone, how you hesitate, how you assume." Amanda swallowed hard. I didn't mean." Monica held up a hand. "You did, and that's the problem." She leaned in slightly. "I built this company from the ground up. I own multiple jets, properties, and businesses, and yet people like you will always assume I don't belong." Amanda looked down. shame flickering across her face. Monica straightened, then turned to Captain Reynolds. Make sure she's written up. I don't want this happening again. Captain Reynolds gave a sharp nod. Understood, ma'am. Before we see what happened next, let us take a breather. While we do, we would appreciate if you could hit that like button and support our channel by subscribing to it. Thank you in advance. Now back to the story. Monica boarded her jet, but as she settled in, she couldn't shake the events of the morning. She turned to Jacob. We need to do something more than just filing a complaint, she said. Jacob nodded. I agree. What do you have in mind? Monica stared out the window thoughtfully. Let's reach out to some media contacts. This isn't just about me. It's about making sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. That afternoon, Monica's legal team drafted a formal complaint against Falcon Heights Private Airfield, detailing not just her experience, but multiple reports from other Black travelers who had faced discrimination. By evening, the story was trending on social media, with thousands sharing similar experiences. The backlash was swift. The airfield's board issued an apology and announced an internal review of all employees. A week later, Monica received a call from Mr. Langford, the director of Falcon Heights. Ms. Davenport, I want to personally apologize again. We've terminated Amanda and implemented mandatory diversity training for all staff. Monica nodded, satisfied. Good. But I hope this isn't just about saving face. Real change takes commitment. As the plane ascended into the clouds, Monica finally allowed herself to relax. She had fought for her place in the world, and she wasn't about to let anyone make her feel otherwise. The world was changing, and people like Amanda needed to learn that success and wealth had no color. Monica leaned back in her seat, staring at the interior of her luxurious jet. The polished wood paneling, plush leather seats, and golden accents were all symbols of her hard-earned success. Yet despite everything she had achieved, today had been a stark reminder that some people would always see her as an outsider in a world she had worked tirelessly to conquer. Jacob sat across from her, his tablet in hand, but his focus was on her expression. Ma'am, I know you're frustrated, but you handled that with grace. You always do, he said, offering a small smile. Monica exhaled. It's exhausting, Jacob. Every time I think we've moved past this kind of ignorance, I'm reminded that we haven't. If it happens to me, imagine how many others are dealing with this and don't have the voice or power to fight back. Jacob nodded. That's why what you're doing matters. Monica smirked, her eyes twinkling with just a hint of amusement. I imagine she's still reeling. Jacob chuckled. Oh, no doubt. But more importantly, the airfield staff will think twice before treating another person that way. The flight attendant arrived with a tray of refreshments, setting down a glass of sparkling water and a bowl of fresh fruit for Monica. It was a day when she realized that even now people like that still exist, but she was dealing with it with humor, as most of us do. She gazed out the window, watching the clouds roll past, a quiet determination settling in her chest. Today had been about more than proving a point. It had been about change. And if there was one thing Monica Davenport knew how to do, it was change the game. She knew that she had to lead by example, as she always had. In the end, it was a story of racism getting a kick in the butt by Lady Karma herself. What do you think? Should Monica take legal action? How far should she push for change? Let us know in the comments below.